Hello, folks. My name is Dr. Call, and today we're exploring the impact of diabetes management on women. This is just really one of the many facets of diabetes and the way it affects women, but we're looking at it from a secondary standpoint, so to speak. We're thinking of the women who are mothers, wives, daughters, or just friends to people who are living with diabetes. And the reason this came to be so important to me is because I've seen plenty of examples of mothers who worry for their children and for their health and for their lives. I've seen wives who take great steps to try and rectify lifestyle in order to improve the condition of their husbands. And I've seen daughters. A great example of that, of course, is my own mother. She cared for her mom with diabetes for several years now. And the changes she brought about, not always incremental, actually, I should say, were changes that greatly impacted the overall lifestyle and the quality of life of my grandmother. She helped make her far more active and give her fewer restrictions when it came to eating and to living a healthy, happy life. And what this highlighted for me, and I think the takeaway message you'll hopefully also get at the end of this chat today, is that diabetes does not have to restrict an individual.
Okay, yeah.
So thank you so much for joining us, Manju. Would you like to begin by telling us what is your motivation to be involved in World Diabetes Day 2017?
Okay, so motivation to be involved in World Diabetes Day. My husband was actually diagnosed with type 2 diabetes in 2014 November. He was showing some signs of thirst, frequent usage of bathroom, tired, he was losing weight. So we just went for the blood check, and then we both were not expecting that result because we were having a normal life and normal food, not super healthy, but a regular person's diet with cheat days at times. But he had chronic stress at his workplace. So, but we didn't know that the stress could affect all these things. So we went for a blood check. Because he was showing all these signs of tiredness and lethargy and those kind of things. So when the blood result came, he had high diabetes. So the HbA1c was 10.8, and his fasting was, I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was 255. So as I was not expecting this, I panicked. I was shattered because I was not expecting this. And my husband was never overweight or ever overate. So it came as a shock. But initially, I have heard about diabetes, but I didn't know much about it. My dad had diabetes, but okay, I've seen him having medication. And that's it. That's the only thing I knew about diabetes. But when it hit our family, so I was thinking, that was a shock for me, actually. So we right away went to the dietitian, and she helped us start off, but okay, I was happy, but I wasn't 100% happy because I didn't get the answers to all my questions. So I was thinking, okay, I got the initial help from her. So I thought, okay, let me roll up my sleeves and let me get started on my own. So what I did was I didn't know anything, so I started restricting my husband in eating anything and everything, So that was not nice of me because I didn't know. So I feel that's a mistake I made because I didn't know anything. So I thought, okay, if you eat this, you will get more, blood sugar level, those kind of things. So When kids are at school and my husband is at office, I started researching more about diabetes, the root cause of diabetes.
Right.
It's not about having medication and people saying that there is a cure. I didn't buy that. So I was thinking, okay, let me research on my own and find out what really diabetes is, the cause and the root cause and how it's formed, and then how the blood sugar level is affecting, because of having certain food. Because what I was taught or heard was that, okay, if you have diabetes, please avoid sugar.
Right.
So that's the only thing I've heard, So as a person, I believe that, okay, sugar is the cause. I didn't know that there are other factors involved in getting diabetes. So then I, read more about carbohydrates and, how it can affect this, those, everything which is connected to it. So I slowly started changing the way I cooked. So exactly the same thing how I cooked, but I changed the way without changing changing anything. Yeah. But I changed the ingredients,
right,
and I started calculating the carb in each and every ingredient. I'm talking about even if I use a teaspoon of black pepper powder, I calculate the carb of that.
Right.
Okay, so it was hard work. I have to say it was super hard work, but in the end, in 10 months' time, with the grace of God, I have to say, we went for the normal blood check as prescribed by doctor. Right. So when there, doctor said, you don't need any more medication. Your diabetes is reversed.
Oh, fantastic.
And that date was our wedding anniversary.
Oh, how wonderful.
And that's the only thing I asked God. I don't need any gift. I just need this result as a gift.
Excellent.
And God is good, and the result was amazing. And doctor stopped the medication in 10 months.
That's incredible.
So from that time, I knew. Okay, I did something. My husband was 100% supporting me in what I was, planning to achieve, and that challenge I took, that I want to prove to the world that diabetes is reversible, type 2 diabetes is reversible. I wanted to prove to the world,
Exactly.
So my husband and I decided that, we have to spread awareness. That, it's not just, okay, my husband's diabetes got reversed.
Yeah.
Okay, let me keep the secret to myself. No, I wanted to help others. So I was telling my husband, let's do something about it.
Sure.
And let's spread the awareness. Okay, in my husband and my opinion is that if 10 people get inspired by our story, that's enough for us.
Excellent.
Just 10 people.
Excellent.
So from that 10 people, maybe, it can spread. So I don't expect millions to get inspired.
Yeah.
Because, there are many people, who believes in eating everything and having medication. So, there will be few people like us, who's ready to take off medication and change the lifestyle without, changing anything major,
Sure.
So that's the main reason why I wanted to participate in the World Diabetes Day 2017.
Fantastic.
It is to spread the awareness to others that diabetes, type 2 diabetes, is reversible if you try your best.
That's incredible.
So that's the main reason.
That's incredible, Manju. In fact, I think you exemplify the examples of the sort of people who become citizen scientists and really take things in their own hands, finding the right resources to go out there and deal with the problem rather than leaving it to somebody else necessarily. So
exactly. So it's doctors can help us, but they can prescribe medication. But if you're not taking care of the diet, no medication can help. So.
Absolutely.
I was thinking, I started talking to people. So, but you know how people generally think that, if I talk about diabetes, it's not going to happen to me.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen to me. So why should I even listen?
Absolutely.
So, but once it hits them, that's when they realize, Manju, can you help us?
Yeah.
Manju, can you help me, do something about it?
Sure.
So when they taste my food and all, they think, generally they think that, when I talk about my healthy diet, people generally think that, okay, I'm just having salads, or we are just having salads.
Right.
So when they realize that we eat healthy, delicious food, that's when they realize that, okay, it's not that bad,
Absolutely.
So they start to change their diet and, like adapt, something which we are doing,
That's fantastic.
So, yeah.
That is fantastic. In fact, I'm very mindful of the fact that I've seen your recipes, I've seen the food products, your finished food products, and a lot of them are traditional foods as well. So that's really incredible that you managed this. But we will build on that, I think, later in our chat.
Yeah.
Although what I would like to know from you is, just as a follow-up to this question is, were you ever prescribed a dietitian for your husband? Or did you guys actively make that decision of going to a dietitian?
I decided to go to a dietitian.
That's a good idea.
So we thought, okay, let's go and consult someone.
Yeah.
But dietitians, she really helped me. But again, like I said, I didn't get that core cause or what. Okay, she generally said that, okay, avoid this. You can have this. Sometimes, but that's not what I wanted actually.
Right.
So I wanted something different. So she really helped me start off. I have to say, she really helped me start off. That's how I started off on my own.
Excellent.
So yeah.
Well, the point you're actually making, and that I really feel like we should highlight here, is that self-management is a huge part of managing and dealing with diabetes. And unless you really roll up your sleeves like you did.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Self-management. Only you know your body.
Exactly.
Nobody else will know your body better than how you know your body.
Exactly.
So I know my husband's body because he's living with me, and I know his lifestyle. I know how he is, how his diet's supposed to be. Because we are together for the past 18 years. So I'm supposed to know how his body reacts to certain food.
Sure.
So unless and until you know your body, you won't be able to do anything. If anybody else helps you, also, if you don't study your own body, if you don't, that's the main thing. Self-management.
Fantastic.
Study your own body and see that, okay, what food reacts to your body?
What do you respond well to?
If people say something, okay, this food is good for diabetes, but actually maybe that food won't do anything good for your body, so each body is different. That's what I found out. So everything is like self-management, like you said. Like you have to know what you're doing,
Sounds great. Oh, very well done. Okay, well then, I suppose the other question is that with your husband's case, especially those 10 months where you guys were really struggling, what was your biggest challenge and what was your biggest dilemma?
Okay. The challenge was, again, finding the core cause of diabetes.
Mm-hmm.
Again, researching on everything, More than that, the challenge was like people thinking that his diabetes was caused because of his unhealthy living or overeating or, those came as a challenge for us because the others do not know how our lifestyle was, but still we got lots of blame from others without knowing what we were actually consuming or, whether we were exercising or not, like that was actually a big challenge while researching on this. And after the reversal, again, I had to face a challenge is explaining people the difference between cure and reverse.
Right.
So that was the biggest challenge for me, Before, the reversal, okay, I could actually explain to them, okay, this was our lifestyle, it was okay for me. But after the reversal, when explaining to people the difference between cure and reversal. So people think, they come and ask me, oh, okay, now your husband's diabetes is reversed. Cured. Husband's diabetes is cured. Can he eat everything?
Right.
Then I have to explain, no, he can't. he is still not on medication. He's supposed to go on a special diet, but again, he doesn't have. There is nothing like I have to explain to them that there is nothing called curing diabetes. It can be reversed, but the symptoms are still in the body.
Exactly.
So, which can be controlled only through proper diet, and I believe in balanced, healthy diet. So, proper balanced, healthy diet and exercise.
Fantastic.
So, it's hard to explain to them. So, people still, when they write about it, okay, this, what can I say, curry leaves.
Yeah.
If you drink the water of curry leaves, that you can cure diabetes. Again, I have to explain to them, okay, there is no cure. It can be reversed, but not by drinking this. It can control the sugar level for temporary basis, but you have to go on that healthy, balanced diet to maintain that sugar level.
Sure.
So my challenge was after reversal than before reversal.
Excellent.
I have to say.
That's a really interesting point. Very interesting. So you face the stigma around diabetes, which I think really it's always been that issue with nearly anybody who has to deal with diabetes, that there's a really unwanted stigma around it. Considering that it's such a complex disease and people don't understand where it comes from, people will automatically assume it's lifestyle. So you're right, that's a huge challenge. But we've also talked about the reversal versus cure, issue in our conversations in the past, and it's fantastic that you're advocating this understanding that you can't have a one-shot cure to diabetes. As inconvenient as that is, it is about changing your lifestyle in a very elementary way and just breaking it down one by one and reprogramming yourself, pretty much.
Yeah,
and you're an example. You and your husband are examples of exactly achieving that. So it's fantastic to hear these great things from you. So,
thank you.
I mean, this is really what brought you to all the great work you're doing now with your Instagram page and your Facebook page, where you're, also sharing these fantastic recipes. The food always looks amazing. Can you tell me first?
Thank you.
Do you come up with these recipes yourself?
Yes.
Amazing.
I come up with my recipes, and my husband is the recipe tester, actually. The thing is, if I introduce any new food to my husband, I make sure that I test his blood sugar level within 2 hours time, so that I will know whether that food item is affecting his blood sugar in a good way or a bad way. So if the blood sugar level is little bit high, because of my target is always like 120, max is 130.
Right.
So if it goes beyond 130, I always think, okay, there should be some reason. So I don't post that recipe on Instagram or on Facebook if the sugar level goes little high.
Right.
Higher than 130.
Okay.
But then the next time, following for example, I can say is jackfruit. So in place where I come from, jackfruit is like famous, and we all eat jackfruit. We love jackfruit.
Right.
My husband also loves jackfruit, not the ripe one, the raw one. So in the place where I come from, they all were telling that it's like the best for diabetes. Everybody should have that.
Right.
So many people diabetes got reversed by having jackfruit every day.
Right.
So I was thinking, should I try, not for the reversal part, but just to see, because my husband loves it, but I've heard that it's high in carbs, so I was like trying to avoid that.
Right.
So I thought, okay, let me try that. People are talking about it. So first time when I tried the jackfruit, I cooked like a normal, like how we cook back home.
Sure.
So his level was little more than 130.
Okay.
So I was not happy about that. So what I did was, I didn't give up. So what I did, the following, the next time when I did the jackfruit, I cooked the jackfruit. I threw the starch off. So there was no starch.
Right.
And then I cooked like normal.
I see.
And his blood sugar was 120.
Fantastic.
So I found out that, that starch in the jackfruit was, affecting his blood sugar.
Of course.
So he's having jackfruit, but in a different way, without starch. So that's how I post recipes, because I don't want to post anything and everything, because it's time consuming for me when I post these recipes, because I test first on my husband and check his reading and then post it.
Of course.
So if I know that his blood sugar is not rising about 130, then I post these recipes. So I come up with these recipes, because I don't like to repeat things. So I want to try something or the other every single day. So, but even for the food photography, my husband supports me. He waits until I finishes my my photography. He waits. He has patience, and he's the strongest support for me. I have to say, this Instagram and Facebook is happening because of my husband. And my husband always says, for your Instagram and Facebook, he always says, oh, diabetes is good. Yeah. It's only because of me you're getting all these recipes. So he always says that,
Well, that's a very optimistic way of looking at things, for sure.
Optimistic way, exactly. It's the optimistic way of bringing,
looking at the upside.
He's saying that you are coming up with good recipes because you have a target. You know why you're coming up with these recipes. So he always jokes around. This is my strongest support, I have to say. If he didn't support, if he didn't have the food, and if he didn't like the food which I cooked, then whatever hard work I'm doing, it would have gone in vain. So he is exercising every single day without fail, at least 5 or 6 times. 6 days a week.
Lovely.
So he's like 100% dedicated in what he's doing. So. That's why, we both thought, okay, we both should do something. He will do in his manner, and he's trying his best from, his side, and I'm trying through my side, So
Fantastic.
This Instagram and the Facebook, all the recipes, what I post is all it's like teamwork, I have to say, teamwork.
Great.
And again, whatever my husband approves, that's the only thing that I have to add that. Okay, if the blood sugar level is different, and the taste-wise, it has to be approved by my husband.
Excellent.
If he doesn't approve, I don't post. That means it's not tasty.
Of course.
So we know that it's always like recipes. Coming up with recipes is always like trial and error.
Of course.
I have to say, sometimes it becomes a flop. Sometimes it's a huge success. So all the success ones I'm posting, because I want others to enjoy that as well. Rather than just posting for posting, I don't believe in that.
Sure.
I believe in posting good things, which is tasty.
Right.
And I have to say that whatever my husband eats, that's what I eat.
Right.
So there is no difference other than, maybe if he has like half banana, maybe I might have 1 banana.
Sure.
So that's the difference, because of the carb count, that's the only difference, Otherwise, recipes, everything I come up with, and, all the ingredients, I come up with all these things, in a healthy way.
That's fantastic. And I particularly like your strategy of the 2-hour blood glucose measurement as well. I think that's a really interesting way of giving yourself a little flexibility to try out different recipes without saying...
Exactly.
Yeah, it's great.
Exactly. Rather than going on like strict diet, then he will not be like, for instance, if it's jackfruit, I was thinking that, okay, it's high in carb, I'm going to avoid it completely.
Right.
Then my husband is not going to enjoy that. So I thought, okay, let me try first. How the blood sugar, the jackfruit is affecting the blood sugar. Yeah. So that's how I came up with this the second time, and it was a huge success. And now he's enjoying jackfruit, which he usually loves, you know. So that's how I post everything on IG and Facebook.
Fantastic. But even other than this particular strategy that you have with 2-hour blood glucose measurements, do you have some starting point as well? Do you actually first go and research the glycemic index, or do you do like a calorie count before you begin? If you do, what's a good reliable source for you before you start your recipes? What's a good place to begin usually?
I do. I count the carb. I check the glycemic index of all the foods.
Right.
Yes, but the thing is that I don't have any particular thing where I search on. Right. I just Google. Okay. Google is my friend actually, so it comes up. If I write for instance, carb in apple,
right,
it gives out the carb in apple. So I get an idea. So how much how much carb the apple has,
right,
or strawberries have,
right.
like, so it's just for me to know, rather than having like the exact thing. So just to know, like, okay, how much can an apple have or a banana have? So I'll have a rough figure or a rough, to calculate the average, or whatever he has had for the entire day. So that's what I do. I just Google it. So I write carb of apple or carb in onion. So it comes up. Like, it's like, okay, do you want like green apple? I'm saying apple, only one apple. So something else, and it comes in categories actually.
Right.
So it's like really helpful. So yeah, so that's how I do the glycemic index, and
Fantastic.
And glycemic index, again, it's Google and different places where I find. I don't have anything particular where I go to.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this is what I do.
Fantastic.
Usually.
Well, there are usually
but
some.
I definitely check. Definitely check the glycemic index.
Excellent.
Definitely check the glycemic index and the carbohydrate for sure, and the fiber content.
Excellent.
So I definitely. So mainly it's like it has to have fiber. I don't believe in simple carb.
Mm-hmm.
I don't give my husband simple carb at all. So it should always be complex carb. So I make sure that he's having only complex carb.
Excellent.
No simple carb. There is no simple carb in our diet.
That's
actually,
wonderful.
both of our diets. So I'll make sure that there is fiber involved, and there's like slow release of the sugar to his blood, those kind of,
Fantastic.
So that's what I do.
That's a very comprehensive way of going about it. Okay, well, pretty much rounding down now, just to see if you have one piece of advice to give either people who are at the verge of diabetes, somebody who has diabetes, or somebody who doesn't have any signs so far of diabetes, but there's always
so
a
the
risk.
piece of advice I have to...
Go on.
Hello?
Yes, please go on.
Yeah, okay. My piece of advice for people, who are concerned about the health or anything, never give up. Never, ever give up.
Really?
If you're diagnosed with diabetes, never take it lightly.
Mm-hmm.
Or think that even if you eat anything or everything, you can control with medication.
Yeah.
If diabetes, according to like what I have found out, if diabetes is not under control, it can affect your kidneys, hearts, and eyes.
Yeah.
My dad actually is the best example how it affected his kidneys.
Right.
My dad was diabetic,
Mm-hmm.
and slowly, he didn't really take care, and I was very young at that time, so I didn't know what diabetes was. So he didn't really take care of his, diabetes. The sugar level,
Mm-hmm.
and his kidneys got affected.
Right.
So he had to undergo kidney transplantation.
Wow.
2 years back, and now with the grace of God, he's leading a healthy life,
Mm-hmm.
and big applause to my mom for taking care of him. So and again, another piece of advice is that if I've noticed what people do generally is that if a write-up comes or a YouTube video comes about something, they run after that.
Right.
So if in my opinion, me being a caregiver, I know what my husband needs.
Right.
Or if you are a mother, or if you are a brother or sister or son, daughter, father, whoever you're taking care of, make sure that you understand and study their body.
Right.
Only then, you cannot follow somebody else's diet, and in my opinion, there is nothing called diabetic diet, unless and until you know your body. So I feel that, whatever you cook, it should be low GI and, carbohydrate control. What I do is that it's like maximum is 120 grams per day with exercise. So, those kind of things, the people have to know how the body responds to each food,
Excellent.
like how I did with the jackfruit.
Right.
So, like you have to know, that's the piece of advice. You cannot follow somebody else's thing. You have to know how the body reacts
Right.
to the food.
Mm-hmm.
And, so never give up. That's the first thing.
Great.
And second, do not literally follow anyone.
Yeah.
You can get inspired by others, but follow what your body says to do, like how you feel about your body. Once you eat something, how the blood sugar is affecting your body.
Right.
Is it rising or is it stable? Everything. It's your body. Body will talk to you. In the form of sugar levels.
Excellent.
So that is the piece of advice I have to give, to all people who are on a mission to reverse diabetes.
Fantastic. Some mindful practices of eating and living healthy. That's fantastic.
Exactly. Mindful practice of eating healthy and exercise. Exactly. You said it right. That's the mindful. Yeah, if you do not know what you're eating, some people, they say that, okay, if you eat fat,
Mm-hmm.
There is no carbohydrate, but I know that, okay, in my opinion, pure fat is not great for the animal fat, or too much of animal fat is not that great for the body.
Absolutely.
So if you don't control that, so my diet is actually, what I prepare for my husband is like low fat,
Mm-hmm.
low GI,
Yeah.
low carb, and high fiber.
Fantastic.
So we make sure that, the fiber is in low fat. We try to go with a good fat like avocado oil, avocados, those kind of things we try to
Fantastic.
to incorporate in the diet.
Right.
So, that's how I do. Mainly, living healthy without losing, without missing anything.
Excellent.
When people ask my husband, so that means you're missing out a lot in life.
Yeah.
Then my husband opens my Instagram page and shows them, this is what I eat.
If anything,
do you think that I'm missing anything?
Exactly. If anything,
that's
it's
what
nicer.
my husband does.
Lovely. That's very good response.
Yeah, because that's the only way we can respond, because there is no way we can respond saying that, okay, we are eating healthy. So people generally think that, healthy means it's bland food, and,
Yes.
that's the general thing. But people think, I cannot blame anyone for that. But, this is what my husband does. Okay, check my wife's Instagram, and this is what I eat.
Yeah.
So I don't think I'm missing anything in life,
Of course.
So, yeah, we control the fat intake, we control the, carbohydrates, we control everything, whatever, I know my husband's body now, so that's how I prepare my dishes.
Incredible. Thank you so much for talking to me then about all of this, Manju. It's been very enlightening. A lot of great information came from it. So there you have it. We've heard from Manju Jisto, and do check out her Instagram and Facebook page. There are links in the description. Also, be aware that we have an upcoming event on the 18th of November now for World Diabetes Day in Columbus. So if you are in the region, get in touch, register for the event if you like, or if you'd like to volunteer, then send me an email. Meanwhile, stay healthy and stay fit.